everyone, it's Theresa Loughran with McGill Law. We have offices in Omaha and Lincoln. And I want to talk to you a little bit today about the very important decision of filing for divorce. Making the decision to file for divorce is never an easy one. In fact, oftentimes our clients have to navigate very complicated asset and debt situations, decide how to successfully co-parent, and also dealing with the very real emotions that are involved in this process. So having said that, it's very important that you choose the right legal advocate to guide you through the process. When you come in for your initial consultation, it's really important that you get off on the right foot and that you are asking the right questions so that you can make sure that you are a good fit with one of our attorneys. Today, I'd like to give you a few tips on some good questions to ask in order to be prepared for your very important initial consultation. First, be sure and ask what the attorney's preferred method of communication is. Depending on the style of communication, your fee for this process could range a great deal. If you are someone who likes to email a lot, you might ask your attorney, am I charged for every single email, or do you have sort of a clustering fee arrangement? Perhaps you like to make telephone calls. Ask your attorney that you're consulting with if making phone calls is the best, most efficient method to get a hold of her. And perhaps you'd like to come in and sit down and have meetings. So make sure when you finish your consultation, you know who you reach out to in order to schedule a face-to-face meeting that you might like. Or perhaps it's a Zoom meeting or a teleconference. We do accommodate all styles and forms for communication. Next, be sure to ask, what is the average time the particular process that you're leaning towards takes? There are certain statutory mandatory time limits that we have to adhere to. I should say guidelines that we have to adhere to. And some of these process options can be completed relatively close to that time frame. Others are lengthier and take more time, and it really depends on the style, whether it's litigated or whether it's mediated, for example. Depending on the process that you choose, there are going to be different time frames. So be sure you have an idea if your particular process is going to take 3 or 4 months, or maybe it's going to take a year or longer, or somewhere in between. Next, ask if you can sort of pivot or change processes. If you decide on one option and you retain for it, be sure and ask if you change your mind, or somewhere along the way you decide that there might be a better process that's a better fit for you. Ask the attorney that you're consulting with if it's possible to change to the other option. Next very important question that we hear a lot is, what is the anticipated overall cost of your particular process? Again, there's a wide range here. It will depend on obviously how much work it will take maybe to prepare in a litigation process and formal discovery. That's a lengthier process that does entail certain costs. Maybe it's an uncontested matter where you and your spouse are in agreement on a great deal of the issues, and then maybe there isn't as much discovery that is necessary. Or perhaps it's a collaborative process where you and your spouse are doing sort of an informal gathering of financial documents, which will then also serve to likely keep the cost of your process down. Nonetheless, it's important to ask about the different options and how the fees and costs compare. Next, it's important to know who your legal team is going to be. So specifically, you'll want to know who is going to be working on your case. Here at McGill Law, all attorneys do have legal assistants. So it's important that you get to know that person as well, as you'll be working with her too in communicating a great deal, sometimes to schedule phone calls or meetings. So ask who all will be involved. And it may be that your team consists of more than one attorney and more than one legal assistant. So be sure and try to get to know as much as you can about that at that initial consult. Finally, I think it's really important at this initial consultation to kind of have the attorney walk you through the process. So you know, here's what happens at the very beginning stage. Here's what we can look for in the middle. Here are some possible unexpected curveballs that sometimes happen that may serve to possibly prolong the process or add time to it. And here is what you can expect on the end. For instance, maybe you're just waiting for that final decree, or perhaps there is some post-decree work that needs to be done. Sometimes that's real estate transfer statements or retirement account. Our goal here at McGill Law is not just to represent you legally, but to really guide you and to be available for you and here for any and all questions that you might have for us from the very beginning to the end. And we really try hard to make ourselves available. And that may simply mean returning a phone call within 24 to 48 hours and working to really accommodate your schedule, because we recognize this is your matter, not ours. So we will do everything we can to accommodate your needs. So whether you might be seeking a peaceful mediation with your spouse, or perhaps you need a fierce, zealous advocate at your side if you're in more of a litigated setting, we have everything you need here at McGill Law. We have your backs, and we consider it an honor and a privilege to guide you along the way of this very important time in your lives. So give us a call and we'll talk you through and schedule a consultation that best fits you and your family's needs.